to get a little healthier, clean things up in all areas. It's beneficial to have this week just because that I hope it helps us down the stretch. Because we got 5 games back to back in a tough, physical Big Ten. I guess talking to the technicality and starting this week with Illinois. Illinois' 17 ranked team is a well-deserved ranking. They have a really physical rushing game with Chase Kid. Chase Brown Kid. He's a really good runner. But they're really good on defense. They top in the country. So a little bit. Questions?
Mickey, can you give an update on Nick Henry?
Nick's going to be out. Nick's going to be out.
Is he out for the year?
He's out for the year.
What kind of, was it a knee, ankle, leg? What type of injury?
Knee.
With injuries, real quick too, will you get a Brock Bando back in Kevin Williams' situation? And I know it's time.
Kevin's rehabbing right now, and so is Bando. But Bando's closer than Kevin.
Mickey, the last time you guys had a bye, you were going into the bye off of loss to Oklahoma, and now you're coming in off 2 good performances and almost winning on the road in the Big Ten. I mean, did it feel success?
Well, we had to get him healthy. We had to get him some rest. I understand what Casey said in his presser after the game. He needed some rest. He needed to rest his body. So what we try to do is be smart with him, during the bye week, and get him out there, but also, take the pads off and take the hitting off him. Okay, I'm done.
What makes their
their number proved that they're pretty good. They top 5 in every category, and it's a really sound defense. They don't do much, but what they do it very, very well. Very well. They do it good.
Because they've got both sacks and they've intercepted, I think, 12 passes, which means they're kind of doing both things. That can sometimes be rare. Is there something that they're doing well to get all the interceptions?
Well, like I said, they don't do much. So, and it's simple, but like I said, they do it well, and they well coached with their technique. So they play their technique is really good.
After the game that Trey put on film, I mean, how much are you expecting teams to really go out of their way to make sure that doesn't happen? How do you combat that with some extra time to think about it?
Well, we if you look at it, you had a really good game. But you would think that Illinois they're going to do with that.
Anthony Grant's numbers have been down the last couple of games, but is that more of a concern about blocking in front of him and just sort of how those games have played out? Or what do you feel about Anthony and kind of getting him going down the stretch?
Well, we got to get him going. We got to do a better job up front, blocking and finding plays that we're comfortable blocking and finding plays that he's comfortable running. So we got to do a better job as a coaching staff to get that done, and we worked on that. So maybe we can get this thing going this week. We got to get him going. You're right.
Mickey, how do you feel about the offensive line after the bye week? Did they get a chance to regroup a little bit, and are you feeling a little better about them?
Well, we beat up. We beat up front. We down a couple of starters, but I feel good about them. I feel good about the bye week they had, and I felt good about their practice this morning. So they still giving us really good effort, and they really practicing really hard.
Exploit that situation if opponents do start paying extra attention to what Trey does.
Well, it's probably a situation what I went through at LSU. About the 4th game of the season, they started doubling Jefferson, and then Chase went off, then Terrence Marshall went off, then Clyde Allaire went off. So we're going to have options if they take Trey away. If they try to take Trey away, there's nothing we can do about it.
Sticking to its guns, if you make that a Nebraska discussion, what's that mean? If you're sticking to your guns, what's that mean?
Well, we got to try to score points. We got to try to score points fast. I know everybody want to talk about the time of possession, but the offense scored 37 points, and I can't go to the offense and say, don't score in a minute. You know, I gotta let them possession. We want to throw the football. We want to throw the football, but we got to get Anthony going this week. We got to get him going. We got to get a running game going this week.
What was the week like for you guys in recruiting and getting out there? And I mean, a lot of offers. You just talk about sort of where that's going, and your staff just continually hitting it, even in the situation.
Well, like I said before, you know, when I first took this thing over, is that we're going to do things the right way. Go out and work. California was in Massachusetts. You know, I was in Atlanta. I was in Arizona. Fisher's in Florida, Dallas. So we went out. We went out as a staff. We kept the coordinators in. You know, the offensive, defensive coordinators in. But we're going to recruit and, you know, find the pieces that we need. You know, and so we're going to go heavy JUCO when it comes to the offensive line. You know.
How big can the JUCO angle be? You know, with the portal era, sometimes how useful is that still and important, that part?
I think the JUCO part is really important because you're getting the kid coming out of the system. You get a kid coming out of portal, he's transferring for a reason. JUCO kid, you're recruiting him just like a high school kid. But a portal kid, he's transferring. There's a reason he's transferring. So you got to do more homework on a portal kid than you have to do a JUCO kid. JUCO kid, you can go to the coach and say, hey, you've been having to go back to high school.
In Arizona?
I did. I had a chance to see Vance and listen to him about his two pick six. So he did a good job. He did a good job Thursday night. I told him he did.
How much have you relied on outside people like him? I don't know if you've talked to Coach O, but obviously he's been in this situation as an interim coach multiple times. What kind of value do those two in particular have they had in these 5 or 6 weeks?
Myself, you know, make sure they get Mickey, and he knows there's nothing fake about me. I'm gonna be Mickey. I'm not, you know, because at the end of the day, I can go back to Baton Rouge and that nice house in Baton Rouge and chill out. So I'm gonna be Mickey, you know.
Sorry. You got Malachi Coleman this weekend.
I wasn't finished answering that question.
Okay. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
I'm just joking. You're right. We got Malachi.
Have
You
you
know.
had a chance to talk to him?
Yes.
How'd that conversation go?
Well, he said it 6 months ago. He wasn't coming here. So you put the pieces together.
Mickey, you know, it's a little bit of a 5-week stretch here to end the season. You know, what are you looking for in terms of intensity from the teams to get through that 5-week stretch?
Well, football teams are really preaching to them that we need to execute. We need to execute the game plan.
How far away are you in terms of getting to the physicality you are looking for, and has it gotten better?
No, it's gotten a lot better. It's gotten a lot better. I mean, I like where they are right now. It's gotten a lot better.
How much better does it need to be to elevate for Illinois?
I mean, it's got to be up there, you know, because they're a physical football team. So we got to match their.
Start. You talked to Coach O. Who else?
Well, yeah, you know, Ogeron, he was really good. And like you said, be yourself, and then, you know, with Vance gives you, you know, just the plugs of being a head coach, because he was head coach in Denver, and it didn't go so well for him. So some of the things that he said he should have done that I need to do, but he always said, do it your way. He said, because then you won't regret anything if you do it your way.
You would have done differently, that you are doing differently?
Well, he shared this, and I'll leave it like this. I'm not going to make the decision if I get the job. I'm not going to make the decision. You know, that's going to be the administration that's going to make the decision if I get the job or not. So I got to just continue to get this team to get better every week and try to win football games.
What conversations maybe have you had in the last couple of weeks with Trev, you know, in the bye week or anything like that?
The Illinois coach teams, what comes to mind first? I mean, are there any defining elements that are consistent over?
Yeah, facing him when I was at LSU, he was at Arkansas. He's a very physical team. He wants to run the football, but he's physical across the board, offense and defense. He does a really good job with the defense and offensive line. He always had really good players in offense and defensive line, so you can see that now, Illinois.
With the Henrich injury, how valuable is a guy like Chris Galarovich, who's been around a while? And just some of those younger guys behind him, how do you feel about that group as a whole?
Well, they got to step up. They understand that. You know, they played snaps. You know, after Chris went down, Chris and Vada played a number of snaps. Then Ernest went in. So all three of those guys got to step up.
Feel good about where Reimer's at. I know he was dinged.
Yeah.
There the last few games.
Would it be Yanni Ramir? You know, until Gabe gets his, feels better with his turf toe, but it'd be Yanni and Ramir.
Chase Brown gets a lot of the attention on their offense, but obviously Tommy DeVito has had a pretty good season. What kind of stood out on film when you watch him play?
Well, he's another 6-year senior, 24 years old. I mean, he's going to have a lot of experience. Controls that offense. Good when they're running the football, but he won't make mistakes. And that's what we're going against again. That a guy under the center that's not going to make mistakes.
How do you force a guy like that to make mistakes?
I guess I'll be able to tell you Saturday night about 6:30.
To the question about other receivers having to step up, Brody.
I thought they've been playing pretty well. I thought they've been playing well. I thought they've been open. They've been open on occasions, and I think Oliver, he always comes to the sideline and says, make him open. And when I look at the film on Sunday, he is open. He's a kid that can run with really good receiver skills. And Brody and Marcus, they understand what's going to happen if they double trap.
You coached a lot of faster guys you've coached.
He's the fastest.
Faster than all those.
He's faster than all those guys, yeah.
Why wasn't it able to click for him at LSU like it is right now at Nebraska?
Well, I think because Justin Jefferson, Terrence Marshall, a lot of NFL guys were in that room. And over there you had to wait. You had to wait, and so he was in a loaded room. If you look at all those guys on the league, Racy McMath, practice every single day and get it done. If not, the next guy was going to pass up. So I think he grew up here. He grew up and he matured here. When he got here and he understand, okay, this is what I need to do to get better. Because remember now, Trey's been the best player on the field from the age of 5 all the way to 17 until he got to college. So it's hard for him to I got to compete every down now. Jamar had to learn that. Terrence had to learn that. Jefferson had to learn. They all had to learn that. And Trey just happened to be.
Mickey, has Malcolm Hartzog continued to show you? He's still making plays, and as a true freshman, what kind of attributes does he have that, other than the physical side of it, that have allowed him to get on the field so quickly?
Well, he's a strong-minded kid. He's a kid out of Mississippi. Tough kid, get after you, but he's smart. He's smart. He understands the coverage. He understands leverage, and he understands that. And he welcomes the challenge.
Last 3 games, you guys have been able to make really effective second half adjustments. What do you think it's about? It's about your staff and your team that you guys are able to do that so often.
Well, you take your hat off to the coaching staff. Coming up with a different plan the second half to seeing what's going to work, and from the first half what didn't work. Then you take your hat off to the kids, for executing.
Do you find yourself still having to build the kids' confidence up, and do you often still tell them, hey, the West is still there for the taking?
Well, we show them where they're at. We show them that they're right there in the middle, and they're going to play the number 1 team in the West this week. So they still control their own destiny. But, I think their confidence is there right now. They believe that they can win. Just noticing on the flight home after the Purdue game and the look on their face, they were hurt. They were hurt. They were upset. They're a different team. They're a different team.
When did you see that switch flip like that?
Right after the Oklahoma week, after everything settled down for them and they start believing in what we were doing, and so it's right after the Oklahoma week.
What did, obviously, this is kind of an obvious question, but what advantage can that crowd on Saturday provide for you based on you guys winning a couple?
And just being loud and being into the game and trying to disrupt their offense and try, where they don't get the clap and what they do on offense, but just being loud and being there to support us.
You can ask Bill this too, but how far along have you think Jamari Butler and Blaze Gunnarsson come, sort of those backup edge rushers?
Yeah, they've been playing better. Once we took over it. I wanted to make sure that they played, because I think game reps is going to help those two kids because they're real two talented kids. So I think they playing better every week. They're getting better.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.